Hey Scotty, I think we finally have some time to unbox the Lost Caverns of Ixalan stuff. Are you with me? Alright, cool. Let's get to it. Hello everyone and welcome to another one of our Lazy Swim unboxing videos, the series where Scotty and I take the time to unbox products and read out cards while letting you know how good they are and if the product is truly worth your time and money. So grab your favorite drink, sit down, lay back, relax as we dive into this unboxing. And today Scotty and I are finally getting over the slump of work and we are diving into the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. I know these have been done already by everybody else, unfortunately, due to something that's really cool and we can't talk about yet, but it materialize itself in the next few months. We've been really hard at work and therefore we've had to postpone some of the things that we plan to do with the YouTube channel. Fear not, we're still planning on doing the same things, it's just it won't be on the right amount of time. We're still trying to keep up with the what's in a specific product videos, as those are quite helpful to the community. Today we are finally having a look at the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, a pre-release pack, and these are going to be really fun. Thank you, Scotty, for this introduction. Now, these pre-release packs are always cool. You usually get them when you participate in pre-release events at your local game store. So without further ado, we'll have a look at what's inside and what we can find. And as usual, we'll be taking our time reading through the cards and going through every single version and looking at all the wonderful things that you can find. Oh, that's really beautiful. I think this is Ixalan inside of a cenote. And by the way, I was fortunate enough to go to the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico last month. So we visited, Scotty and I, quite a bit of things, including Mesoamerican architecture, monuments such as Chichen Itza, and just overall we got to experience the cultures that inspired this beautiful expansion, and we fell in love with the wonderful places and the people from Mexico. So this is going to be really cool for us to see as well. So without further ado, let's have a look at the dice. This is a little bit of a blue dice. It's a really beautiful color. It actually goes in theme with our theme of very friendly sharks. Really love the dice. And then you get, voila, the contents as follows. As usual, you do get the little box, which is beautiful, I must say. Very beautiful. And you get the little divider, the pre-release promo cards inside, the 6 booster packs, the draft booster packs, and a little bit of an explanation intro on how to build a sealed deck or a draft deck in general. And yeah, that's it. Let's dive into, let's see first off what the pre-release promo card holds for us. This is quite interesting as we start our unboxings for this set. So we have a couple of counters here. Finality. This is going to be to reanimate things so that when they die, they get exiled. Then you get some stun counters, some +1/+1/+1 counters. Here you get the 6 Lost Caverns of Ixalan code for MTG and Arena. So this is going to be the boosters that you can get. So best of luck to whoever gets that. And then our promo card is Amalia Benavides Aguirre, which is a 2/2 Vampire Scout, Orzhov, and has worth pay 3 life. Whenever you gain life, this creature explores, then destroy all other creature if its power is exactly 20. So this is going to be very much a commander card. Now, explore is a new ability, of course. This creature explores by revealing the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you put it into your hand. Otherwise, you put a +1/+1 counter on the creature, and then you can choose to put the card back or put it into the graveyard. So there's a lot of fun little interaction, although I don't think this would have been a card that I would have managed to play in pre-release events. So without further ado, let's dive into the packs. Let's see, we have Miner's Guidewing. This is a 1/1 bird, cost 1, it's white, have flying vigilance. When it dies, target creature you control explores. Then we get Dead Weight. It's an enchantment R enchantment creature, and it gets -2/2, and it's only 1 black. Not bad, actually. Hotali's Final Strike costs 3, it's an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. Deals damage equal to its power to target creature, so it's a fight spell. Interesting. This is a buff and, well, debuff and a fight spell all in one pack. That's pretty fun. Then we get Child of the Volcano. It's a 3/3 that costs 4, Elemental Trampler. With, at the beginning of your end step, if you descend this turn, and you put a +1/+1 counter on him, and descend means that if you've put a permanent card into your graveyard from anywhere, then have descended. Then we get Oroska Puzzle Door. This is an artifact, costs 1. For 1 generic and tap and sack. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 of those cards in your hand and 1 onto your graveyard. Could be really cool if you have a lot of graveyard interaction. Otherwise, it could be iffy. Then we get Fungal Fortitude. This is an aura again. Cost 2, it's black. Flash, enchant a creature. It gets +2/+0 when it dies. Return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Okay, so this is a way to save a creature that you don't want to die. Then we get Goblin Tomb Raider. It's a 1/2 Goblin Pirate that costs 1 red. As long as you control an artifact, it gets +1/+0 and haste. Not bad. Brood Rage Mycoid is a 4/3 fungus. Costs 4 at the beginning of your hand step. If you descend this turn, you get to create a fungus. 1/1. Not bad. I love that the fungi are back. I used to love the Thalids back in... God, what was Thalids? Jeez. Somebody write in the comments down below. I don't remember, but yeah, I used to play back then. Yeah, I'm that old. Anyway, Daring Discovery costs 5. It's a sorcery. It's red. Up to 3 target creatures can't block this turn, and you discover 4. Discover means that you exile cards from top of your library until you find a non-land card with mana value 4 or less. You can cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the rest at the bottom in a random order, so you don't mail yourself too hard. Then we get the first of the uncommons. This is Waterlogged Hulk. Costs 1 blue. It's an artifact. You tap, mill a card again for those graveyard interactions. Then you can craft with an island, and this is yet another ability. Costs 4, 1 blue. Exile an artifact, exile an island, and that you control or that is in your graveyard. And oh no, the artifact. So you exile this artifact, you exile the island, whether it's in your graveyard or in your control, doesn't matter. And then you return this flipped around, so it is exiled, and so it loses any and all counters that is on top of it, and it becomes a 4/4 warrior type gondola, which is a vehicle that cruises only for 1, so that's really good. It's vigilance, and it descends for 8, and it can be blocked as long as there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. So that's really cool. We've seen a lot of the basic interactions, I guess, and the new mechanics of this wonderful set. So here we have Dusk Roast Reliquary is an artifact, costs 1 white. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you can sacrifice an artifact or a creature, which you have plenty of in this set, and then it has Ward 2. When it's battlefield, you get to exile a creature, so it's a prison until this leaves the battlefield. I'm not a huge fan of prison effects, but with Ward 2, it can be a little bit annoying. The Fossilize, this is a sorcery. It's black, costs 5, and you basically reanimate a target creature card from graveyard, and it explores twice, which is really, really strong. Here we have Bartolome del Presidio, which is a 2/1 legendary creature vampire knight, Orzhov, and it has sacrifice another creature or artifact, and you get to put a +1/+1 counter on him. And this is a beautiful showcase version of the set. Quite nice. Wow, okay, we start off with a mythic. That's really, really good. Ojer Axonil, which is the Deepest Might, or Oyer Axonil. I don't know if this is the Spanish or the Mesoamerican way of reading the name, but yes, Deepest Might is a 4/4 creature god. It's legendary, of course. Costs only 4 with double red. Has trample. If a red source you control would deal an amount of non-combat damage less than the power of this creature to an opponent, that source deals damage equal to the power. So basically, if you deal 1 damage that is non-combat, say with I don't know, for example, the artifact that you can sacrifice and deal 1 damage, I think it's a torch or something, then that would deal instead 4 damage, and when it does, you return it tapped and transform onto the back. As a land, there's the Temple of Power, and you tap for 1 red, so all of these lands will tap for their respective colors, and then for 3, tap it, you can transform it back. You can only activate it if red sources you control that 4 or more non-combat damage this turn, and only as a sorcery. So this, I think, is one of the weaker gods for limited play, because I don't think there are a lot of burn spells in the set, but still, it's a very, very good card, and it's a mythic, so I'll take that. Next up, we have Hidden Courtyard with caves. The caves are very, very similar. There are different types, but the common ones, they're all similar. They have discover for a certain amount by sacrificing it, and they enter battlefield tapped, and you can tap for the mana, and then we just have a placeholder card. That's very, very nice. Okay, so very good first pack, I must say. Very, very nice. I love the gods and the theme of the set. I think they're really, really cool. Then we get Nurturing Bristleback. This is a 5/5 dinosaur that costs 7. It's one of those forest cycling, so land cyclers, and it enters the battlefield. You create a 3/3 dinosaur creature token. You can forest cycle it. It's okay. It's not bad. Then we get Plundering Pirates. It's a 3/2 that costs 3. When it enters the battlefield, you get to create a treasure token. So effectively, it costs, let's say, 2. It's not bad. And yeah, you can always use those treasure tokens either to ramp or to sack to any of the other effects. Then we get Song of Stupefaction. It's an enchantment aura, and you can enchant a creature or vehicle. It's blue, it costs 2, and when it enters the battlefield, you may mill 2 cards. And it has Fathomless Descent. The enchanted permanent gets -X, -0, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. So this could be really, really interesting, but yeah, there are, I guess, better spells to remove creatures or annoying creatures from the opponent's side. Then we get Cosmic Blast. Point, it's an instant, and it costs 2, it's white. It deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. It is situational, but it's, I think, a bit better. Then we get Deathcap Marionette. 1/1 fungus with Death Touch. It costs 2, it's a creature, of course. And when it enters the battlefield, you may mill 2 cards. I like the idea of may mill 2 cards, and I think with the Death Touch, this can be quite annoying. Then we have the Cogwork Wrestler. I think this is a really good card. It's a 1/2 gnome with flash, costs only 1 blue. It is an artifact creature. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2, -0 until the end of turn, making it really, really good to just kill something that they did not expect. Of course, if you're playing limited and your opponent has 1 blue open, keep that in mind. And of course, you can then use it to sack it to other cards and effects. Then we get Disturb Slumber. It's an instant, cost 2. Until the end of turn, target land you control becomes a 4/4 dinosaur with reach and haste. It's still a land. It must be blocked this turn if able. I don't quite like transforming my lands into something that can be removed, and the only time that would is if I'm flooding anyway. So if you're flooding, this will not really save you. 2000 moves. Infantry is a 2/4 human soldier. It costs 3. It's white. Untap this card during each other players untap step, so this could be really annoying. Yeah, it's a semi, I guess, vigilance. It's not as strong as vigilance, but it could be nice in the right decks. I would reckon there are better cards though. Runaway Boulder. It costs 6. It's an artifact. It's generic. It has flash. How can you flash a boulder? Well, yeah, it's a surprise. It's the Indiana Jones boulder. That's how you flash it in, right? And when it enters the battlefield, it deals 6 damage to target creature an opponent controls, and you can cycle it for 2. I actually don't mind this because in the late game, this can be either cycled or used to kill something. And yeah, if you're flooding, this could be an answer to something really big. So it's not a bad card. Then we get Tithing Blade. It costs 2. It's an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, of course, it's black as well. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, so it's a Diabolic Edict, and you can craft with a creature. It's an artifact, so you don't really have flash speed, but okay, so you can craft it with a creature for 5, and it flips around into Consuming Sepulchre, which is an artifact at the beginning of your upkeep. Each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. So I think this actually could be fairly doable and not a bad card at all. Then we get Triumphant Chomp. It's a sorcery and it deals 2 damage to target creature equal to 2 or the greatest power amongst dinosaurs control, whichever is greater. Now this is really, really good of a burn spell, especially in this set where dinosaurs are really aplenty. And then oh, by the way, one thing is that I must note that unless you're looking at very far away, unless you're looking at very close, this symbol, it's really, really hard to tell, let's say there's a shadow over it, if it's common or uncommon. This is just maybe me, especially online. It's kind of hard for me to tell, but thankfully they have the little symbol here. So anyway, Dauntless Dismantler is a 1/4 that costs 2 as a human artificer. This is a great little commander card. Artificer you're putting control enter battlefield tapped, and then you can pay XX generic, that's twice, and 1 white, sacrifice it to destroy each artifact with mana value X. Effectively, this is really annoying, and it's really good for white to get one of these effects. Then we get Mischievous Pup. This is one of those hairless dogs that used to be part of South America, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a 3/1 dog that costs 3. It's a flash. Enters the battlefield. You return up to 1 target permanent control to its owner's hand and re-enabling ETBs. So it's kind of like the one from the Wilds of Eldraine. It could be quite decent. Then we get Jadelight Spelunker is a 1/1 Merfolk Scout that costs X and 1 green. And when it enters the battlefield, it explores X times. So this can be really good. If you have a way to buff it all at once, if you know what the next card is going to be, right? So if it's not a land, you can just, I don't know, pump for 5 and this becomes a 6/6. And otherwise, yeah, you just throw the die. I wouldn't use it right away. I would keep it for later in game, but this is a very good card. I really like it. And that's a rare. And then we get the Hidden Cataract, which is a blue cave, and then we get a golem token. Okay, onwards and upwards. As usual, once we've seen a card before, we will not be reading it again. But whilst we're reading it, if we've not seen it, we will go through it. Cavern Stomper is a 7/7. It costs 7. When it enters the battlefield, you get to scry 2, and then for 4, it cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less this turn. Not that great. There are definitely better. Braid is back, and definitely very good in this set for limited. I mean, it's a classic. It either deals 3 damage to target creature or you destroy an artifact. It's an instant, it's red, and it only costs 2. Then we get Wailing Pirates is a 3/3 human pirate, costs 4. When it enters the battlefield, if you control an artifact, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Not bad, not great. It's okay. Iron Paw Aspirants is a 1/2 cat warrior that costs 2. When it enters the battlefield, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So this is one of those counter enablers for Selesnya, for example, or for Orzhov I've also seen. Then we get Deep Goblin Skull Taker, which is a 2/2 that costs 3. It's a Goblin Warrior. It's really cute. And it has Menace and the beginning of your end step. If you descended this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this one. So this is quite good. It's really easy to descend. You have a lot of sack outlets. It has Menace. It can grow really quickly. So yeah, I think this is quite decent. Of course, we're talking about limit. Armored King Color. This is a 3/3 that costs 3. Already great. And whenever it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a dinosaur card from your hand. And if you do, or if you control another dinosaur, you get 3 life. So you don't have to reveal it. So long as you control another dinosaur, you get 3 life. So this is really good. You have a 3/3 for 3 that also gains you 3 life. Why not? Crazy insane how good normal common cards have gotten. This is a Greedy Freebooter. It's a pirate human. 1/1. It costs 1 black. When it dies, cry 1, create a treasure token. Always good to have a replacement effect. Malamet Veteran. It's a 5/4 that costs 5. Has trample and descent 4. When it attacks, if there are 4 more permanents in your graveyard, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So it's not just himself, it can be on any target creature, and it has trample. Not bad. Could be good one-off. Marauding Brindfang is a 6/7 Ward 3 Island Plane Cycling creature that costs 7. And yeah, it's nah. You know, it's not bad. Then we get Grasping Shadows. This is an enchantment that costs 4 black. Whenever creature you control attacks alone, it gains death touch and lifelink until the end of turn. That's very good and limited. And put a dread counter on this enchantment. Then if there are 3 or more dread counters, you transform it so it flips around so the counters are maintained. And then you tap it and a black and you remove a dread counter from it, drawing a card and losing a life. So you get to basically draw 3 cards out of it. Very good. It's no matter what point of the game, having Death Touch and Lifelink is insanely good on any creature that you have, and getting the extra draws at the end is just value over value. Volatile Fault is a cave that, other than tapping for 1 generic, you can tap it and 1 generic, sacrifice it, destroying a target non-basic land and opponent controls. That player may search your library for a basic land card, put it in battlefield, shuffle, you create a treasure token. It's an interesting way to destroy a non-basic land. That's definitely not good for limited, but why not? Canonized in Blood is an enchantment that costs 2, is black at the beginning of your end step. If you descended this turn, again, if a permanent went to digger from anywhere, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So that's very good. And then for 7, you can sack it and create a 4/3 white and black vampire token with flying. Very, very, very good. Force limited. And then Guardian of the Great Door is a 4/4 angel that costs 2 white. So that's interesting. As an additional cost to cast a spell, tap 4 untapped artifacts, creatures, and or lands you control, and it also has flying. This is very, very good. Double white can be tricky, but there are ways to deal with it. And for example, in green, there are a couple of mana generators. So definitely this is achievable fairly quick, especially in this set. Then we get the Fabrication Foundry. It's an artifact, costs 2, it's white, tap and add 1 mana, spend this mana only to cast an artifact spell or activate an ability of an artifact. And then for 3 and 1 white, that you tap and exile 1 or more other artifacts you control with a total mana value of X, then you get to return target artifact card with mana value X from the last from the graveyard to the battlefield. So this could be really good if you have some ways to build around it. Otherwise, it could just be a dud. Then we get Captivating Cave, which taps to add 1 generic, and then you can filter a mana to fix to any color. And then for 4 and tap, sack it, and you put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Not the greatest. And then we get a Gnome token. Okay, 3 more boosters to go. I don't know what color I would have gotten so far. There are quite a few decent cards from different color combinations. It would have been a hard pre-release for me, I would reckon. Get Seismic Monstrosaur. This is a 6/5 dinosaur that costs 6. Has trample, it's a mountain cycling one. And for 3 in sack a land, draw a card. Could be okay for the late game, but yeah, we'll see. Then we get Unlucky Drop, it costs 4. It's an instant. Target artifact or creature's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. So you can either re-TB yourself or it's just an unsummon, kind of. Ooh, then we get the Ultic Cloud Guard, which is a 3/2 human soldier. Costs 4, has flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you get to create a 1/1 gnome artifact colorless creature token. That's very, very good, and with flying, it's always really nice. Then we get Screaming Phantom. It's a 2/2 spirit, costs 3, is flying, is black. When it attacks, you mill a card. This could be good in the right deck and limited, but otherwise it could just be annoying on your side. Then we get the River Herald Guide. Is a 3/1 Merfolk Scout. The cost 3, has vigilance, and is green. When it enters the battlefield, it explores. Okay, so one of those explorer sets. The problem is it can trade down very significantly for 3, so you know, yeah. Brazen Blade Master is a 2/3 Orc Fire that costs 3. It's red. When it attacks, while you control 2 or more artifact, it gets +2/+1 until the end of turn. Now, this could easily happen, but at the same time, it could also not, because, you know, those artifacts that you have are going to be used for other means, I would reckon, so it might not be easy to enable it. Sunfire Torch, that's the one I was thinking about, that you can sack to deal 2 damage. So this is an artifact equipment that is red. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has whenever this creature attacks, you may sack this equipment, and when you do, this creature deals 2 damage to any target, and you can equip it for 1. So this is quite good in the right deck. Relic's Roar is the next up. It's an instant, it's blue, costs 1, until the end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes a dinosaur, base power 4/3. So this is kind of iffy. It could be really good, but it could also be really meh, and it really does depend. And we get Over the Edge. Is a sorcery, it's green, it costs 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Target creature you control explores, and then it explores again. So the first one is really, really strong, and also this second one could be really, really good. So I think this is quite a decent buff spell, and getting to choose one is very nice. Idol of the Deep King. So this costs 3 as an artifact. It's red, has flash when it enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage to any target. So funny enough, I think I could have actually built something with Ojer Axonil or Ojer Axonil, because this is quite very heavy on the burn spells or burn waves. So this one crafts with an artifact and 3, and it becomes a Sovereign's Makwahitl, which is an artifact equipment. When it enters the battlefield, you attach it to target creature you control, and it gets +2/+0. That's really, really good. I like this card quite a bit for limited. Then we get Might of the Ancestors. This is enchantment, and it costs 3. It's 1 at the beginning of combat. Your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains vigilance until the end of turn. Could be okay in certain decks, could also not be as good. +2/+0 and vigilance is decent. I wish it was +2/+1 maybe, but yeah, it's not bad. There are better cards out for limited. Then we get Belligerent Yearling as a 3/2 dinosaur that costs 2. Very cool illustration. It has trample, and whenever it enters the battlefield, another dinosaur enters the battlefield under control. You may have this creature's base power become equal to that creature's power until the end of turn. Now, even though you don't have a lot of dinosaurs maybe in the pod, it's still a fairly good creature. A 3/2 for 2 that trades upwards. Maybe you buff it a couple of times. It's just good enough as well. So I like it. Then we get the Stinging Cave Crawler. It's a 1/3 insect horror that costs 3, and it's black Death Toucher. Okay. So it's quite annoying the way that it death touches, because it doesn't need to have a huge amount of power, and it can still kill a lot of things. And then for the send 4, when it attacks, if you have 4 more permanent cards in your graveyard, you draw a card, you use a life. That's very nice, actually. I like it. It can be quite annoying for your enemies, for your opponents, really, really quick. And next we have Cosmic Confluence. It's a rare, it costs 5, it's green, it's a sorcery. You choose 3, you may choose the same more than once, and search your library for a cave card, put that onto the battlefield, tap and shuffle. Not really relevant, I think, in limited. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on a cave you control. Again, not relevant. It becomes a 0/0 elemental, still land, or destroy target enchantment. Not that great, I would say, for this set. Oh, one of the beautiful poster lands. This is really, really beautiful. These are the extended lands of the set. First one that I see, and really, really nice. And then we get a gnome token. Okay, 2 more and then we're done. Okay, so far I really love the theme of this. It's so cool, and having actually lived part of these themes, like very small ones. You know, I went to a cenote. I managed to see some of the Mayan cultures and villages. I experienced some of the cultures, the colors, the people. They're so vibrant. It's just, you know, it allowing me to appreciate this just a tad bit more. And I wonder if it hits in any way, shape, or form, or attacks at any of their strength. Continuing on, we have Didact Echo. It's a 3/2 Spirit Cleric, costs 5, and it's blue. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, okay? Then you descend 4, and it has flying so long as there are 4 or more permanent. It's not that great. I believe there are better. Then we get Petrify. Okay, so this is another one of those Sarah Bestiary enchantment auras where the creature or artifact cannot attack or block or use any of the activated abilities, and it costs only 2. Very, very, very good card. Also, if you don't know what this area's bestiary, I think it was called, is, I think it was in Homelands, go check it. Another Chance is an instant that costs 3, and it's black. You may mill 2 cards, then return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard hand. So this could be quite decent in the right deck. It just, you know, milling, self-milling in limited is always iffy because you don't have a lot of cards, and you must really have a strong build around getting your creatures back as quickly as possible. Then we get Staggering Size, which is an instant buff. It costs 2, it's green, and target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until the end of turn. Then we get Burning Sun Cavalry. Is a 2/2 human knight that is so cool. It's riding a freaking dinosaur. I mean, come on. And it's shooting lightning out of its hand. I mean, can you be any freaking cooler? It's a 2/2 that costs 2. It's red. when it attacks with blocks, while you control a dinosaur, it gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Very thematic with that. I think it's very good if you have a lot of dinosaur. Again, I think that's the deck that I might have gone for. At least the red would have been there, and then I don't know what I would have gone with, but yeah. Then we have the Acolyte of Aklazots, which is a 1/4 vampire cleric that costs 3, and you tap, sack another creature or artifact, and each opponent loses a life, you gain a life. Okay, so it's one of those enablers, not bad at all. It's a bit expensive, but yeah, it's not bad. Disruptor Wonderglyph is a 3/4 golem, costs 4 generic, and when it attacks, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Now this could be okay, but it's very, very slow. You have to attack to be able to do that. It really depends on how important it is to play and remove stuff from opponents' graveyards in this limit. Then we have Out of Air as an instant, costs 4. This spell costs 2 less if it targets a creature spell, counter target creature spell. There are better counters. This is not a great one. Then we have Clay Fired Bricks. It costs 2. It's white. It's an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, you search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it in your hand. Okay, that's annoying. At least in the battlefield tap would have been better. And you gain 2 life. Then you can craft with an artifact for 7 with double white. It becomes a Cosmian Kiln, which is an artifact, and then enters the battlefield. You create 2 1/1 colorless gnome artifact, and creatures you control get +1/+1. So this is an anthem, but it's quite a slow one. I don't know that it's one of the better ones. Synapse Necromage is a 3/1 fungi, and it's black, costs 3. When it dies, you create 2 black fungi creature tokens. So one of those token generators, not bad. I think with this set, you'll be able to create a fungi or thalid commander. There's definitely a mycoid something god that definitely can enable that. Maybe now the Thalid deck could be a reality. Who knows? Okay, next we have Kinjali's Dawn Runner, which is a 1/1 that costs 3. It's a human scout double striker. When it enters the battlefield, it explores. Okay, so this is very strong. If you're lucky enough, it becomes right away a 2/2 with, double strike. If not, you can always just buff it. I really like. And then we get the Careening Mine card. This is a 3/3 artifact vehicle that costs 3 generic. You only crew it for 1, and whenever it attacks, you create a treasure token. Actually pretty good. You can just crew it up with one of those tokens, and yeah, you just pump into the next spell. Next up, we have Hulking Raptor. It's a 5/3 dinosaur that costs 4, and it has Ward 2, so already that's very, very good. And at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, first main phase, you add 2 green. What's not to like here? Yeah, it can trade down, but there are ways to bump up, and also this green added can really, really ramp you. So I really like this one. And then we get a Hidden Volcano in foil and a Promising Vein. There's another cave that taps for 1 generic and for 1 and tap and sack it, and search your library for basic land card, put it onto battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So I guess this is one of those fetchers. This is actually one of probably the better caves of the set if you are looking to fix yourself with mana. And then we get a gnome. Now the last draft booster of this wonderful pre-release pack. Also, how did your pre-release packs go? I'm excited to find out. Did you win with them? Did you manage to make some great decks? Did you have fun? That's honestly the most important part. Okay, next we get the Brackish Blunder. Is an instant that costs 2. It is blue. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Okay, so it's a bounce. If it was tapped, you create a map token. Actually, good bounce. The map token can be really, really good because you can use it in so many ways, not just sack and then explore. Then we get Thousand Moons Crackshot. Is the 2/2 that costs 2. Human Soldier. When it attacks, you may pay 3, and when you do, tap target creature. So it's crazy to say that a 2/2 that costs 2 without any drawbacks is not as great, because when I started playing, this would have been what you call a mythic, because it would have been a rare back then. But it's really, really something that unfortunately you have to attack with to be able to do something. So it's not as good as we've seen in, I think in the Wilds of Eldraine, there was a creature that tapped altogether. There was an Icy Manipulator. So yeah. Then we get Vito's Inquisitor. This is a 3/3 Vampire Knight that costs 4. It's black for 1 unsack another artifact or creature, and you put a +1/+1 counter, and it gains menace until the end of turn. Very good, actually. I think this is quite a good little thing. You can make it big right away. So by paying 5, and you can transform it into a 4/4, and then you can keep bumping it because the +1/+1 doesn't go away. So I really like that. Oh, the poison dart frog is so cute. Oh my god, he's so cute. All right, this is a 1/1 frog that costs 2. It is green, has reach. You tap to add 1 mana of any cost, so it's one of the fixers, and then for 2 generic, it gains 10 touch until the end of turn. So this is one of the better cards of this set. I think it really depends on the decks that you can play, but I really love that card. So cute. I love the illustration. So very, very good job. As the next one is a Hot Foot Gnome. It has hot feet, and it a 3/1 gnome artifact creature that costs 3. It's red, has haste, and you tap it to give another creature haste. 3/1 that can trade down really easily. Not my thing. Then we get the Sage of Days. It's a 3/2 human wizard that costs 3. It's blue. When it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards back on top of your library, put the rest into your graveyard. So in the right deck, this could actually be fairly decent. There's definitely a cost in the set for reanimating and so on and so forth, but we'll see. Then we get Malmed Brawlers, the 2/2 cat warrior that costs 2, is green. Whenever it attacks, target attacking creature gains trample until the end of turn. Okay, not bad. It's a 2/2 trample that can give trampler to somebody else, basically, if they don't want it to have trample. Frill Cave Worm, 2/5 salamander worm that costs 4, and it's blue. Descends 4. It gets +2/+0 so long as there are 4 or more. So, not bad. It's not that hard to enable 4, so I think that's not bad at all. Then we have Compass Gnome. It's a 2/1 artifact creature gnome, 2 generic. When it enters battlefield, and search your library for a basic land card or cave, reveal it, and then shuffle and put that card on top. Now, why'd you have to go and put it on top, man? I mean, come on. That's so annoying. If you could just put it in play tap, that would be so strong. Or at least put it in your hand. It's a bit annoying. Then we have Caslam Stone Tree, which costs 3. It's an artifact. It's green. And when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a line card from among them onto the battlefield. Tap. Put the rest at the bottom in random order. Okay, so that's annoying. If you have really good cards, then you just have to put them at the bottom. And then you craft with a cave, which is not going to happen that often. And you get a 5/5 Caslam Strider Golem. That's it. It's a vanilla 5/5. Not that great. Helping Hand. Sorcery costs 1 white. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less. From the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Very, very good in this set, especially because you have a lot of discard and mill. Next, we have Dreadmaw's Ire. It's an instant that's red, and it costs 1 red. Until the end of turn, target attacking creature gets +2/+2 and trample, and gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact the player controls. This is an insane card. This is very, very, very. Now we get Zoyoa Lava Tongue. It's a 2/2 goblin warlock that costs Ragdos, has death touch, and at the beginning of your end step, if you have descended this turn, each opponent may discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. Those that don't get dealt 3 damage. Ah, very good. Ooh, and one of the better cards of this set is Chimil, the Inner Sun, the legendary artifact powering the core. This is the son of the core of Ixalan, and it's a beautiful, beautiful mythic card. Of course, this is, I mean, it's good, I guess, as well for limited. It's very good, but let's read on. I think it's a card for commander decks for sure. 6 generic. Spells you control can't be countered. Very much for constructed. And then at the beginning of your end step, you discover 5. This is very, very strong. Very strong and very nice to have had it. Then we get a Hidden Nursery, which is a red cave, and a gnome. What a way to finish that pack. Wow. Mill, the Inner Sun. Well, that was it for our pre-release pack. We hope you've enjoyed it. From Scotty and I, we wish you a lovely day, a blessed day. And if you've enjoyed this, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, as we will be unboxing everything, and it does help small channels like ours a lot. And as we said, we will be unboxing all the other products that are part of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, so make sure to stick around. Until the next one, be good, be kind, and have a good day. Bye!